feel like I gotta go through all this. No.
Yeah.
Might be doing it now.
Fetching. It's progress.
There it goes.
Even I can write all day now, I'm about to say. Alright, and go. Alright, so thank you everyone for joining me once again for yet another episode of my Get Hooked Live podcast. Once again, this is your boy Hook, host of the show. I've got a really interesting topic today and some interesting perspectives as well. So we'll see how it goes. But again, for you guys watching on Facebook Live, make sure that you like, share, and comment, because as always, your comments are truly going to help drive the conversation. And even after the show, if you miss it, or if you want to refer some of your friends to it, you can visit all social media platforms. Just search Get Hooked, or you can search Hook Williams and visit my YouTube channel as well, and you can catch it there. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get this thing cracking. I'll let my panel go ahead and tell you a little bit about themselves.
Good.
Hi, I'm Kamisha. 34 years old, friend of Hook's for a long time. We've worked together. We've had several discussions on several topics, so I'm excited about being here today. Again, like you said, be sure to comment so that we can interact with each other.
Definitely.
I'm Nikki Farson. I am 38 years old. I guess from last time, since me and him have had big conversations. Our biggest conversation would probably be comic book related.
Yeah, we're blurred.
Yeah, we've gotten to the point where we talk about relationship things, and this I'm back on again. Last time was about dads. Now it's about how not to become dads, and how some of y'all won't be dads because
how you become a dad
is what.
I know, right? So again, thank you guys for joining. Like Nikki mentioned, she and I have still been continuing our social media banter, and like Kamisha said, we've been kicking it for a minute, man. Since before we both had kids, so now look at us.
Oh.
Parents. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So I want to refer to the estrogen in the room. So so do you think do you think relationships can survive when the sex is whack or trash, or how do you guys feel about that?
First, it depends, though. It depends on if it's just starting out. So your first time could be trash, but then if you give him or her a chance, it might be like the best thing. Cause you're like, go back to high school. Was your sex game on point?
I wasn't having sex in high school, so I
You
don't know.
lie.
Me neither.
I was, cause I had my daughter at 15, so yes, I was active in high school.
You've been doing
it. But at 15, I still didn't know what sex was. It was like just something everybody was doing,
mm-hmm.
And I can honestly say I did not have any type of orgasms during my high school years. So, does that mean the sex game was trash, or does that mean that I wasn't saying exactly what I knew I was needing?
Could have been both. I don't know. I don't even know what. Okay, but what if the sex continues to be trash though? Like you've tried.
You gotta talk though. If you already talked about it,
mm-hmm.
and sex game's still trash,
yeah.
then, I don't know. You have to get a couple of adult toys and bring it to the mix. It depends if you really want to keep that relationship going.
I think that if sex is the issue, then sex is not the issue.
Right.
Because you said you need to communicate, but the thing about it is sex is communication. So if you're not paying attention to how they're responding,
they don't pay attention.
Then that's an issue. That should have been had at that table discussion that you just mentioned when they communicated.
Nobody really communicates though. Not like that.
Then sex isn't the issue. Communication is.
It's the fact that they're not paying attention.
They don't communicate what? What do you mean?
You have to be able to read a person without even talking. So if you feel like if she's going and you like, oh, now come on now, she could be faking. But again, when it comes to men, you have to know when a woman is faking or not. You can tell when a woman is faking and when a woman is truly enjoying herself.
Not unless she's a good actress.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I think if you are at a place, so if it was something y'all just met or something like that, you have nothing built to establish that foundation of even thinking about doing it again. You somewhere, you're out, you meet someone, something happens, you're gonna call your homeboy, man, it was nothing. Now if you was the problem, you're gonna be like, yeah, I hate it. And that's gonna be it.
That's gonna be
If she's the opposite end, she's gonna call her friend, girl, it was nothing. But if you two have built something, depending on when this happens, to me, you discuss it. To me, while it's happening, we should be open enough to pay attention to what's happening. You can tell when someone likes something. I get what you're saying about women faking. If she's still faking and they're in a real relationship,
let that go.
We still got an issue. We got a problem.
So, faking is an actual thing. Y'all do that?
I have done that in the past.
When you were 15?
No, because I didn't know what faking was at 15. It was in between.
So post-orgasm, you fake. Post-first orgasm, you fake.
Well, you got to give faking some credit.
Well, I mean, yeah, because it got him off me.
Because not that. If faking,
come on,
back then
young,
now,
so,
back then.
Yeah, back then.
If faking also caused the other person to respond away, to me, it's warranted. Not faking to the point where you're not enjoying yourself. But to me, you kind of step into more so role playing, not faking. That's what we're gonna say.
That's a good way to clean
That's
it up.
a good way to put that. Yeah,
good way to clean it up.
That's a good way to clean it up.
Hey, fellas, I hope y'all taking notes. So we got a couple comments, guys. Again, thank you guys for commenting. Portray says, have open discussions with your partner.
Right.
I think that you everyone has pretty much echoed that, like, everybody likes different things. So the thing is, like, you may have sex with somebody and it may not be that good to you, but they may have sex with the next person and it might be the best thing that ever happened to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's individualized. Like, you have to, sometimes you got to do what your partner likes and you got to learn what your partner likes. You know what I mean?
Period. And I think that's it. When, let's say you were in a previous relationship, let's say it was long term. When you go into the next thing, you're going to do what worked then.
Right.
If you're not conscious enough to say, okay, I have to pay attention to this person, you're always going to do what you did before. But what worked for them is not going to work for the next person.
Absolutely. We all have our fetishes and things we enjoy. And, I mean, you can't treat everybody the same, especially women, because I'm just saying, like, y'all come a broad spectrum. You know
because we have more stuff we got to touch in order to get where we got to go.
I mean, a man, all you got to do is get in and get out.
Right.
But with women, they're
basically,
you know, for example, when there's oral involved, some women, like, when they have oral done to them, they climax immediately. Some, you might be done in about an hour. You know what I'm saying? So it really all depends. So you really got to learn who you with.
I don't know. I got to back that comment up because you said all you got to do is get in and get out. See, that's going to be a trash guy right there.
That's what I'm saying.
There's more. It takes more.
Well, if he's focused on him.
That's my point.
And that's our entire issue.
Right. If he's focused on him. Now, I've been with guys who focus on them. Mm-hmm. And didn't even worry about if I got to where I needed to be at all. I was still at the station, man. They done left and done packed up and finna go to the next hit.
Right.
But it's there are some men who don't. Their pleasure is giving you the pleasure.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like they want to make sure that they give you exactly what they're determined to give you. I think it's because they want a chick to be stalking them, but ain't nobody be stalking no goddamn.
I think what
I'm
it
not
is,
stalking
though,
the dudes now.
Like, and to my point, when I say get in and get out, I mean if a man is self-absorbed like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if we're just trying to get
I've met a few of those too.
Yeah, because I mean, like 15 years old, if I was having sex at 15, which I wasn't. But at 15,
that's all you would know to do.
Exactly.
Right.
You get in, get out. Okay, I tore it up. I mean, tore what up? You don't even know. But as a woman, you don't even know what to expect. You don't know what an orgasm is. You don't know what feels good, what don't feel good. All you know is he did it, you know, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
Rel has a comment as well. Again, Rel, thank you for the comment. She says, I see Nikki's point, but at this point, age, he or she should have some experience, no time to teach him what to do. Teach him or her what to do.
Exactly. I don't have time to be telling you, hey, bro, look, that's not a mouse. You can't keep doing this because that's not going to get it.
But maybe that's what the previous person
like she said
liked.
Before.
You know what I mean?
Like
so
she said before.
It's not that he doesn't know what he's doing.
But
he knows what he's doing for somebody else.
But the thing about it is, don't rush into thinking that that's exactly what I want.
You got to understand, as a man, and I'm only speaking for me.
He didn't do no calculations on that.
How I learned about pleasure in a woman, I had to be taught that. Like, I didn't just know that.
Right.
A woman had to literally say,
but like, no,
do
stop.
this, do that,
Right.
don't do that. I mean, And I'm a student, so obviously I wanted to learn as much as I could.
You didn't take offense? Some guys take offense.
Not at all.
Well, I have a question for you. So if you're saying that there's no time to tell anyone, and also Rel2, if you're still listening, if you're currently, let's say you meet someone, you all hit it off or whatever the case may be, you're essentially stating that it's not going to work with anybody until you...
Well, no, it's not that. It's the fact that, because like you can do a one night stand and have the most best sex ever. They didn't have time to get to know all of you like that. They just knew. They felt. It was like they had.
Dice.
Right. It was not even that. It's that they paid attention. Mm-hmm. They were attentive in everything that they did to you.
Oh, he was already good too.
Right. He was already. He was already skillful in what he did. So he was like, okay, I know if it's the second I do this, if she don't like this, then I move on to the next thing.
Right.
It's some guys who know exactly what button to push and like, okay, got her. Some guys sit there and say, okay, no.
But that's when it's your job to kind of come in and be
don't
like,
worry, yes, they'll be like, stop.
And I know the male ego is a fragile thing.
Yes.
But the thing is,
so are women's egos though?
Not as more fragile. And when it comes to sex, not with men. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Because they want to go in there, they want to be D1. You know what I'm saying? But like, if they're not doing it right, then I mean, you gotta let them know. Again, communication.
So was there ever a point in time, and men, y'all can answer this question, was there ever a point in time where you were with a woman and did not orgasm?
Yeah, it's happened.
So, but my thing is, do you consider that to be the sex was trash?
No, because honestly, with men, and again, I can only speak for me, but sometimes it depends on what I had to drink that night. Not often, but sometimes it matters. Sometimes it could just, the sex may be good, but it takes a while sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it's a man doesn't nut every single time. He is involved with a female. Most times probably a 95% success ratio. But like I let the woman know, okay, it's not you, and I don't fake it. I don't pretend like I did. I'm just like, well, you know what?
You don't role play.
No, I ain't about to cater. No, I'm not at all.
but real role play is actually fun.
Yeah.
Adrian asked, "What makes sex trash?"
I'm gonna ask y'all, what makes sex trash to y'all?
It's kind of gonna be. It's gonna be a little bit hypocritical. However, if you're used to a thing, even if the person is new, you're looking for what you're used to. You're looking for that same itch to be scratched in a certain manner. And if they don't, you're going to compare it to what you know.
Right.
My thing is, I've never, like I said, like 15, at the age of 15, you don't know what it is, but you don't consider it trash then either. Because it's new.
Right.
Even, like, in all my sexual experiences, I've never considered any of them really to be trash. I've considered them to be experiences that, either I learn something from it and take that into the next whatever, or I'm sitting there saying, okay, well, that really didn't mean anything. It wasn't the fact that it was garbage. It was just like another stepping stone, I guess, another step up to what I need to learn. So it's like when I was young, okay, oral sex was like, I'm not doing that. When you were younger, you're not doing that. Shut up. Anyway, I guess you didn't. But anyway, girls were more. They weren't quick to do that kind of stuff.
Because it had a negative connotation.
Right. And so then it was like once I got a little older and realized, okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with it. So, and then,
what that mouth do?
But see, shut up. And then it's like, but if you don't know what you're doing when you first start, your head game could be trash too. So it's like,
but that's
learning.
That's where we become teachers as well. Because and I'm not big on, or not to have it done on me. I'm not big on it. I like it, but the thing is,
it's not mandatory.
Right. If someone's not doing something I like, I let them know. Less tea. For real. Like you got to talk to them. Teeth.
So, in my opinion, what you comparing to being 15 years old at the age of 15, just on your experience at that time. As the people would say, your nose was wide open.
Right.
So at that time, you're gathering experiences. By the time we are at this age, you more so feel experience, but I don't think that stops the learning process.
No, it doesn't.
I don't think that stops the experience process. So if you have a partner, you got to be willing to feel like you was 15 and find out what they like the same way.
Right.
Bring that back.
Absolutely.
Right.
And let me catch up on some of these comments. Real again says, men and women, stop telling y'all partners they're doing a good job
When
and
they're
they
not.
really aren't. You don't have to hurt their feelings, but
I
be
agree.
honest. Again, communication. Kevin says, I agree with communication. You have to learn your partner. Twan says, the key is knowing your partner and knowing what their wants and likes are. It's got to be open and honest, learning experience. Got to leave the egos at the door.
Right.
Yeah, and to stay there for a second, you talk about egos, like you can't
Bragging.
be egotistical when you're learning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you may have a partner who's quite frankly more experienced than you are.
I
My
would love
problem
that.
with that though is now in this 2019 day and age, women don't respect the man's ego. So it is. I understand putting egos to the side when you're at a certain point in your relationship, but it's knowing how to present that information to the person that's not going to offend them. How do I talk to you outside of the bedroom, and then once I'm in there in the same manner, I still can give you some bad news, but in a way that you will accept it.
Right.
But it still all goes back to communication.
So you're not just gonna say, nigga, what you don't know what the fuck you
No,
doing?
like get up off me. Now he hurt.
Well,
Yeah.
I've never done that either. I mean, you can't because for one, you don't want to. I've never been the one to want to bruise someone's ego.
Right.
So it's like, even if it was like, even if he got him, and I didn't, I never. It's like you be like, oh, that's it, you done. What about me? I've never been that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so like going into the next go around, I'll like do like, I guess call it suggestion. Be like, okay, how about we do this? Something. It's not to say that you weren't doing it right the first time, but I want to try this. It's more or less me trying to ease in what I like without telling you that you didn't do it the first time.
What happens with that though, and I think when it comes to relationships, that where it matters really the most, because if you're with somebody, communication should come easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I should be able to tell you, hey, this is what I like, so let's try something different. However, pause, if it's simply a casual relationship, you may not feel obligated to tell them anything. You like it doesn't matter, like it's trash, but when you care for somebody, it's more so like, okay, well, I'm gonna work with it.
Right.
And there's a difference too, because based upon what we're currently talking about, all talks don't have to be said with your mouth.
Right.
So I can respond in a way, move in a way, or control without overdoing it, whatever the case may be, to let this person know.
Right.
Yeah, it's that nonverbal communication, but again, it goes to knowing that person. And if you're with somebody, you pretty much know what you can and can't say that's going to trigger that person.
Right, I agree with that.
But if you're not with somebody, it's kind of like, well, can you move your head this way a little bit? In the back of his mind, he like,
Move my head.
Move my head.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
what
saying?
does that mean?
Yeah, this work with old girl.
Well, see, like it also depends on the tension, I should say. Like if you're in that moment and one of you laugh. I mean, but it's not a bad laugh. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad laugh. It's because but you've had experience where you have. You've had experience where
like I
that's killed him already. But it's the fact that if you're enjoying it, and you both, not say she laughs or I laugh and you don't, but it's like you're coming to that point where you're actually enjoying one another and it's not just the sex.
Right.
So then you can actually squeeze in or slide in. Hey, let's try this or whatever. And if it don't work, then again.
I have a question then, y'all. So with that being said, we've talked about one night stands. We've mentioned dating when you were 15. We've mentioned being in a relationship where you actually care for the person. In your opinions, is there not a difference when you two are intertwined before you get to the bedroom? It is. Okay.
It's I guess an emotional or a mental connection. I'm more mental. So if a man, if I can talk to you, I don't even have to be around you. If I can hold a conversation with you on the phone, and I love what you're saying to me, I'm ready to find you now. I'm good to go, But it's just the fact that it comes with, okay, if he's just saying this stuff, or if he can actually back up what he's saying.
Well, if he's saying that on the phone, at this point, he hasn't proven enough to me. And
True.
if you're watching and Misha, I got to be my Misha self. It's spiritual. Got to be himself.
Right.
But with that being said, if we've already intertwined, gotten to know each other, there is a difference. I'm not wondering whether or not he means it. I already know it.
Right.
He doesn't have to convince me.
Right.
when we come to that place, nobody has to explain anything. It kind of just it happens differently.
Right. Yeah, it falls in place.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that happen a couple of times where it was so much behind it. It was that connection that, and like I don't talk to them anymore, but I still have that. That's like one of my milestones. Those are the milestones within your sexual lifetime or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's those type of connections that are just like you can't get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've written poetry over some of these
I
things,
agree.
and it's like because it's more than just in and out. Like the guy it's more of like in, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna connect on this level,
right?
And then out.
And that's why it was more so geared towards can a relationship survive without it. Because if it's simply, y'all smashing,
right?
No, that can't survive because that's all y'all have.
That's all it is.
That's all there is to it. So, but if you're in a relationship and everything outside of sex is great, good person, great to your kids, great to their own kids, all spiritually aware, go to church, and the sex may not be bad, but it's just not mind blowing. It's not what you're accustomed to. But when you reach that level with that person, then you know that they're coachable. You know that they can we got
they can
Google,
learn. Listen.
A lot of things, and it can be a general conversation. Hey, you know what? Let's try. And I think also it's not just saying you need to try this. Like, hey, let's try this next time.
It never stuck.
And I think the biggest difference is with men, we're supposed to be dominant in the bedroom. So if there's something we don't like, I'm just switching positions. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna do what I know. But
do you switch the position just because you don't like it, or do you feel her out and you realize that she doesn't like it either?
You can tell.
Okay.
Like as a man, you can tell
all
because
right.
when you're going and you see, okay, this is pleasure in her, but then you try something else and you don't get that same reaction, or it
right.
feels a little awkward. You know what? Let me go back to what I know.
What I was doing.
And strategically, I'm planning. Okay, what am I going to do next? And I mean that I'm like I play chess. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always 2 steps ahead. Okay, I'm gonna do this.
Okay, chess man.
I'm just saying, but it goes back to knowing your partner. If
right.
if you've been with that person enough, But honestly, when it's like just a one night thing, or you're not gonna be with this person for a long time, it's kind of like, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Right.
Rel says, but you shouldn't have to be taught everything, and that I agree.
True.
You shouldn't have to be taught everything, but you should be able to teach somebody what you like. Because again, just because they're not doing it the way you want them to, the last few people they've been with me have liked it that way. So you're not teaching them something new. You're just teaching them what you like.
And you never know, whatever you're doing might actually be better than what she was used to.
Exactly. Arisha says, I'm too old to have to teach. There's a difference between offering instruction versus outright teaching. You know what I'm saying? Patrice says,
amen.
Patrice says, some women like it rough while others like it smooth sailing.
Petra. Hey, Petra. And hey, Chassae.
Oh, it's not Petray? Oh, shit. My bad.
No, it's Petra.
Okay. Petra. In Allendale, it's called Petray.
We're in Allendale.
It is not called Petray at any point in time.
I swear to God it is.
It's either Petra.
Petray. Adrian says, but at this age, you guys know exactly what you like. Will you now knowing what you stay? Will you stay in a relationship if it's bad? So basically, if the shit just
can't get right,
are you going to stay?
I still feel like my original comment. If sex is the issue, sex is not the issue. Mm-hmm. Because there is no way that you can tell me it's impossible if it's little and you used to something different. Yeah. Put a pillow up under your back and get a different type of way. You cannot tell me that it's going to stay that way unless you have nothing else. Right. That means that you have nothing else.
So if it's just sex, period,
it's impossible.
Right.
That's impossible to me.
Because my thing is, if you're in a relationship, then it's not just sex to begin with. At least it shouldn't be.
It's not right.
It shouldn't be.
Right.
I've always said to myself, because by me having the heart issue that I have, my medication is kind of like just dimmed mine a little bit, and so it actually kind of caused a couple of rifts in my relationship. But my thing was, I'm telling what I would tell him. I'm like, I don't see my relationship with you as just sex. So you can't get mad, or you can't say that you don't know where your relationship's gonna go. If that's the case, then this is not a relationship to you. This is just a situationship, and you're just here to get what you want. My thing is, in a relationship, sometimes you have to, if you can't get what you want right here, I mean, you have to sometimes go with that. You never know, eventually it's going to come back. But you can't sit here and say, oh, well, you know, my relationship is not going to go anywhere because I can't have sex now, or I can't have sex whenever I want to do it. And I mean, those kind of things, by me being in that experience, being in that type of situation in my relationship, it kind of, that's why when he asked me about this, I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about this one, but it's not the fact that his sex game is trash, because it's not. It's the fact that I'm sitting here saying to myself, but if I can't perform like I used to, are you going to just go ahead and walk away?
That's an issue. So, I want to speak on various things that you just said. Before I even really speak on what you said, something came to my mind. One of our issues in this day and age is that women use sex as punishment. Mm-hmm. So if you're mad with him, and I'm not just talking about from the standpoint of we're not talking, we're in a separate room. I'm talking about when you're being intentional. Mm-hmm. So if you have something else going on that's going to not have you in the mood, and this person understands that it's due to her medicine. Mm-hmm. If they love you enough, that's fine. Right. But what about when it wasn't due to your medicine? Right. When you did everything else and you did all those other errands, but his stomach empty and everything else full. Right. Vice versa. Switch that thing around. If you don't do what we're supposed to do as women, because we like to punish men with love so often, I've seen it so many times. If that person, just going back, if it's due to your medicine, then no. And he leaves and he knows that there's a condition, that ain't your guy. Right. Just period. He's not your guy, because you have several people out there. I have a good friend who's paralyzed at the bottom with a wife. I don't know how they make it work, but they do. Right. Because there's something strong enough to still keep them there. Right. Still yet. Right. So it's like, you know, dude, like his lower half ain't working, but they still have, you never know what's going on in that. But they could be having better sex than us. Than everybody. Going on. Listen, they a different type of creator. Right. And it's like, you sit there saying, well, dang, maybe I need to go and just like not use my legs for a while.
Yeah, let me find out what he do.
Right, let me got any secrets. You know, you want to know exactly how to keep it going. But I mean, you make very good points, because it's to the point where you can't focus all of it on that.
Right, definitely.
So I mean, like if you gonna, that is part of the relationship, yes, but you can't make that your main number one thing. That is like, you know, if there's no sex, then or if the sex isn't good, then right. Because that goes back to what you said. Then it's not a relationship. Right. If sex is the issue, then what? Sex is not the issue.
Sex is not the issue.
There you go.
I like that.
So
I might want to patent that, man.
Copyright, trademark.
Twan also says these combos should also be happening outside the bedroom, and that's something we've been talking about. You know, during pillow talk or what have you, these conversations have to be had.
Pillow talk.
So. Pity sex.
Okay.
Because, you know, like, when we talk about, like, if you're really trying to make it work, right, and you really, really, really want it to work, but the person, your mate, just has not gotten right yet, like, are you doing it
just to appease them?
Right. Just, you know, just to placate them? Or like, what's the game plan there?
I like that. I like that question. So, in this instance, we're going to cover everything we've said. We've communicated, we've talked about it, and he still just can't get right.
Still can't get right.
And he ain't got no type of medical issues or nothing.
Let me tell you something.
He ain't slow.
He need to take a course.
His bottom half working.
The real type of trash.
He needs to take a course. If all of this has went down,
he ain't getting right.
And it's still garbage. Look.
And I know we keep saying he, but it could be she too.
Oh, I agree. So, at that point, I think that you do not stop having sex. You still yet, I hate to say this, do whatever it takes to get you there and have him involved.
Okay.
Because at this point, you know,
so would this be the point where you bring in, like, you know, the extra hardware?
Yeah, the hardware, your handwear, your whatever wear, and involve him.
As a man, if I'm gonna sit there and watch you pull all these gadgets and stuff, and
not in that manner. There are different types of gadgets. Now. I mean, it doesn't have to be like that.
I found one and I want it. There's one where you, I mean, like but it costs so much, so I never get it. But there's one where like he could be overseas somewhere, and all he has to do is activate his phone. If he knows that you have it on, I should say, he can actually control the vibration, everything. Now, who would think of something like that? You have a Bluetooth vibrator. Who thought of something like that? But I kind of want one because it looks fun. You know, but and see again,
We
it's
didn't
not.
do that.
But see again,
If he
it's not.
trash,
It's
it
not
don't matter what button he press on his phone. He can dial 911. It don't
But
matter
see,
what he
but see,
do.
the thing, but the thing is, it's like it's
Garbage.
not always. Again, it's not always in the bedroom. It's things that lead up to that. So if he's down the street at work, and you both are in tune of using this thing, and you're like, okay, this is actually all day long, and then
So
by
you
the
think
time
that will make up for what he's saying about if he just has not gotten right that button on that phone and he in Africa?
well no, okay,
He in
so I'm
Wakanda and he ain't bought you nothing forever.
But I'm saying, like,
Yes.
even if that is the kind of thing that's going on, it's you. I mean, you got to figure if you want to keep the relationship, you try and find different things in order to make it work.
Yeah, the
If
guy
you
with the
can't-
phone need to be the guy that can handle his business when he's home.
But maybe he can.
I mean, all that build up.
But according to the question, though, the question is if he simply
Can't
just
do it at all.
doesn't get
Can't do it.
And that's why I'm saying that I think, and like I said, I'm not specifically talking about the hardware that's offensive. It's just several things. What's your foreplay like? What are you all doing
Well, see, I think
there?
that would have been the foreplay. I want that toy.
He beeping you?
You know what I'm saying? I want that toy.
You got a beep?
I want that toy.
Hey, Nikki, tell them when your birthday is, so somebody out there watching can get
It
that
is
toy.
next month, August 25th.
Hey,
Thank you.
Hey, hit in the inbox and go ahead and
No
and
maintenance
book
required. So
Right.
you can travel to California
Hey,
and press the button.
hey, I'm telling you. Sometimes it ain't even all that. It's just I need that release.
Marlon says rifts in a relationship are normal. If not being satisfied is the issue, the first thing to do is get to the root of the issue.
Yes.
Go to a sex doctor to find out what it is. A lot of blockage of sex is mental. A
If
lot.
you want to keep the relationship, yeah, you might have to go there.
Definitely. And guys, make sure you continue liking and commenting and sharing as well. Twan says pity sex will not work.
I agree.
Because somebody's not going to enjoy this, and the other person's going to know
It's
it.
gonna get tiring. You're not gonna be able to continue doing that.
Hey, Kevin says he need to hit the gym, whoever he is. Tell him to hit the gym, run some cardio, lift some weights, get that
Stamina
testosterone.
up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No,
It can be
lock
anything.
his tail in the gym bedroom. He can go to the gym all he want.
Hey, watch porn.
He
I
just
don't
gonna
know.
come back and be strong
But
and
see,
trash.
if you watch porn, that's still not going to help her.
Learning.
Well, we can't.
He's doing a
say-
case study.
That's not
Oh,
true. See, that's why we have to be willing to open our minds because we can't say porn won't help a her. I don't agree with that. There are some hers that can get with it. But see, that's where you would fail in a relationship if he wanted you to watch and you like, oh Lord, this ain't gonna do nothing for me.
I've done that before, though.
What you just said they're miserable.
No, what I'm saying, like, if you're just sitting there doing it all the time on your own, but see, if I'm there.
Oh, that's not. Oh, we're
Okay,
talking
see,
different things.
okay, see, if I'm
I
there,
got
then
you.
yeah, okay, I can. But it's been moments where the guy's like, okay, so what do you like?
We're gonna let Daryl.
And I let him know what I like.
I don't watch porn. Not like that. I mean,
No. See,
Fellas,
you
somebody.
see how you just said that?
What?
I don't watch porn. Then you said not like that. So you have watched it though.
I mean, I've watched it, but it's
Okay,
not,
so
I
there-
don't have to watch it to get off.
Granted, okay,
I don't
yeah,
have
but
to.
like you said, you're learning from it, right?
I mean, I've learned, yeah, of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
I mean, you learn every experience you learn from, whether you're involved in that experience or not, you learn from it. No, for real. But I think a major thing of it is that like you have to, for a relationship to actually work in that regard, you got to be with somebody who you're actually in tune with like that. And you like, I know a lot of things guys are kind of hesitant to do. Even if a woman want to do it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like, well, I ain't that's freaky. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? It's like you already in the back of your mind, you're thinking, you know, if people gonna look at you as being gay or you know,
Yeah.
a lot
Well, I
of
think that's
things.
where levels come in, though. You may not do that the first time, but once you all have established something and you understand that your bedroom is private, you're gonna trust that person enough
Right.
to where
Right.
we gonna do what we like.
Right, again,
it's-
and that's where the relationship comes in because if I trust you, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna
Then
trust
I'ma
you.
let you
Whatever
know.
we doing,
Right.
this is where it's gonna stay. But if you
And that's
just
us.
if you just with somebody who you just banging, once you leave the bedroom, she calling the homegirls and he calling his homeboys and
Trash, girl,
putting all your
trash.
business out there.
Trash.
Trash, garbage.
Girl, I think he gay. I think he gay, girl.
He didn't know what he was doing.
So if you're not being satisfied,
What if he was a virgin?
you would.
I'll let
you
to.
probably would. Is
I
cheating?
mean, but you don't know that. It's no male versions.
Is cheating ever permissible?
No. No, it's not permissible. I mean, it happens, but I don't think anyone's giving permission to go out there and do it.
Do you think that people cheat because, like, everything else is great, but the sex is trash? Do you think that's a catalyst or a reason for people going out and cheating? Do you think, like, infidelity can occur because you're not being satisfied physically?
It can be. I mean, it can happen that way.
Well,
I find that as someone, not to disrespect anyone, but I find that as weak if that's the case.
no, I mean, because even if something is not right, you still have morals. And so let's talk about morals first. And then that thing ain't right, and you've tried, it's still not working. Could it happen? Yes, over time, frustration, things like that. Is it okay to me? No. Because you're going to do whatever it takes to make a thing work, and I'm just going to stand by that, no matter what it is. If you're really with someone, be it, you communicate different. When you come into a relationship, men and women already think differently. We already speak to each other differently. I can say one thing and you heard Spanish, and I really was speaking French. It happens, but we take the time to understand this is what makes them tick. So that person at that time, your morals come first to me. It does happen, but I do not think it's permissible. No,
it's not.
Maybe permissible was a bad word.
What you want to use?
You found another word.
Possible.
Oh, it's possible.
Like, and I'm not saying there's ever an excuse, but we know, like, physically you want to be satisfied. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know everything else is there, but, like, you know, I know talking about communicating, and we're doing everything.
Right.
But somebody who just absolutely still cannot get right.
If you can't get right by now, let me tell you something.
Do you think that's cause for ending the relationship? Exclusively, solely for sex?
In some aspects, I would say end it. Because you're never going to be fully and completely happy about it.
Marlon said, no, cheating is not permissible. Cheating is a cop-out, period. If you're not satisfied, man up or woman up, and just say that. Communication is the key.
And I just think that there's not a lot of communication going on. Because in this day and age, I would say probably 75% of the sex acts that take place are outside of relation. You know what I mean? Like, people who have sex, they aren't in relationship with each other. It's kind of like they're banging just to bang, and they're not actually committed to someone.
Well, that's an issue, though, and I have a problem with people that have those perspectives. See, what happens is we get those perspectives and we believe that, so we act like that. A lot of people are doing that. A lot of women don't trust because they're in that mindsetting of all men are doing that.
Right.
I don't believe that.
Right.
And so when you don't believe that, you tend to act different.
Right. So they think that all men are just out there hoeing around and, you know, having sex with anybody, and they take on that mentality.
So they're trying to have a hot girl summer.
Yeah, I think
it's foolishness.
I think it's a cop out. I think it's an excuse to go through your whole phase. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just want to do it, but men are already doing it. They ain't got nothing to do with it. If you want to go out there and do it, like, I'm not gonna judge. Like, your body is your body, and if you want to go out there and have sex with 15 different dudes and 15 different nights, that's you.
She got a lot going on.
But it shouldn't be because men are dogs or men aren't doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think it's a cop out.
Now, I agree with that because it's stages, and I don't judge anybody. So if that person is in that situation and they're doing whatever void they're feeling, I'm not saying it's okay, but I understand it. Now, if she's in a relationship, that's a whole nother issue to me. You missing more than just sex. If you out there and there's 15 different people, it's something else you missing.
Say it again.
Which part?
Your quote.
If sex is the issue,
sex
ain't
is not
the issue.
Gotcha. Hey, man, I'm telling you, man, you need to put that on a t-shirt.
When y'all see Daryl try to put that on something, that's
mine.
me.
That's hers.
No, I'm gonna give you your credit.
But I mean, it all boils down to whether you want it.
Period.
Whether you want the relationship to go anywhere, or do you know that now this is where this relationship is time for it to end? Because if you've done all this, if you've done the sex doctor, you've done the toys, you've done the communication, you found out that the chick is faking, and you still trying, or he's faking. I don't know how the guy would fake, because she should know. But I mean, it comes to that point where you're like, you know what, it's not gonna work.
I don't know too many dudes who gonna fake.
I mean, but
you know.
They don't fake. Guys don't fake. they just stop.
Listen, I don't see how
How they do that?
how you wouldn't be able to tell. Like, you know.
Again, I said women should know. I mean, because if you don't feel anything, then
No, I'm
bro,
saying.
come on now. You just got up.
He can't fake that.
He should
man.
just got up.
Petra says Bible study is calling me. Wish I could finish watching.
Enjoy Bible study, Petra.
Yeah,
Pray for me.
Say a prayer for all this up here. Katrina says, "Do you fake it?"
No. Because I'm at that age where I ain't got time to be faking. I'm going to just think on communication and let you know.
But you have faked before.
Yeah, but that was when I was younger. That was in my 20s.
Okay.
I mean, by the time I hit 25, I was like, you know what? No. Yeah, no.
So, do you think that TV plays a major role, like, you know, in terms of
Your perception of sex?
that? And because people nowadays are shallow.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? And when you have these actors whose jobs are to keep their body tight, to work out and look a certain way.
I'm glad I'm not
and,
acting.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'd
And
be failing right about now.
I'm just saying, like, do you think that, I guess, society's perception of how these celebrities are living, do you think that kind of plays a role into it or no?
Yes, and also I'm glad you said that because that's another thing I was thinking. When it comes to insecurity, especially as a woman, you can be insecure about your stomach, your this and your that, and he ready to grab the same thing you insecure about.
Right.
So if you
Good
take
point.
the time out to compare yourself to somebody, you're so busy worried about how big you
Yeah,
are,
again,
and he's
it's
so
mental.
busy trying to grab it, like you missed the moment.
Right.
It's a mental thing.
So if you are someone that is shallow enough to believe that social media, any type of media, is your reality, then you already have another issue.
Absolutely.
True. But sometimes it's not even social media. Sometimes it's not the TV. Sometimes it's how you looked at yourself
Truth.
all your life.
Yes.
It's like, because there have been points in time in my life, I'm like, I always thought I was always fat. And I look back at pictures and I'm like, damn, I was skinny. What the hell?
And, but
What
there's
was
nothing
that?
wrong
What
with
is going
that.
on? You know, it's that thing. And so I think where it started as, you know, skinny was the new thing.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's that in thing. You got to be, you know, you got to have the big boobs, little waist, big booty. Which all I have is big boobs and a big waist. I got a little booty. I mean,
Plug.
but
Plug, fellas. You heard her.
but I'm saying I'm willing
Full
to
disclosure.
But see the thing, but I embraced that. At one point in time, I didn't like how I look at all. I could look in the mirror and I'd be like, you know what, you need to do something about this. But then for me now, it's being that, you know, it's health wise. I don't look in the mirror and see that anymore. I just look in the mirror and just keep on moving.
Well, it's levels to insecurity because I'm somebody that focuses on weight or gained weight or lost weight, but it's levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to not like something. It's another thing for it to mentally block me.
Right. It actually.
I have things
It
about
might
me that I
affect you
don't
from
like,
finding
but I still
someone
love
that
you.
love you how you
Exactly.
look.
There's a difference.
Right.
And I promise I'm not going to turn this into like an after-school special or anything, but one thing that I've learned is that you have to first love yourself. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I've learned not to compare myself to this guy or that guy, you know, because I'm never going to be that person. They're never going to be me. So
Right.
I have to be happy with what I see in the mirror. So when I go to the gym, when I run, when I work out, I'm not doing it to look a certain way for
Exactly.
anybody else. I'm doing it because I want to like what I see.
Right.
And if someone sees it and they like it, that's cool. If they don't like it, you know, I've had women say to me, you know, I like my man dark skin. Well, shit, I'm never gonna be dark skin, so let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Or I like my man, you know, over 6 foot tall.
Clapping
I've
for
been
you, sis.
I've been 5'10" for years, and I ain't gonna get no taller. So you can like what you like. But my thing is,
Well, I'm 5'3". Again, plug.
plug.
Y'all better hear that thing
Yeah,
now.
you know, but I mean that might be what you like, but I mean at the end of the day, that's probably not what you're gonna
It's
end
not.
up with.
You're not gonna end up with it.
Taper your expectations a little bit. I'm not saying settle, but
Now,
at the same
see,
time,
that is where the TV and stuff come in.
yeah, like you're not
Because
gonna.
you start wanting all these tall, dark, and handsome men, and it's like that's what you're looking for when you go out into the world. Well, I should say, shallow people look for that. kind of
Shallow,
stuff.
you gotta
Women in the
know.
world. You out there looking for that 6'4", you know, bearded dude that you know about to bust out of his shirt and all kind. But again, you got a little dude over here, 5'10". You know,
Hey, I ain't little.
typical. You smaller than 6'4". Shit.
Somebody said they 5'8" of greatness, 5'3".
Oh shit, Kevin.
I mean, but I'm saying,
But
you
that's
know,
that's the outlook you have to have, though. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to like you're not gonna be something that you're not. So just be who you are and be happy with
Be
it.
who you are, but understand a lot of people don't know what self-love is. Self-love does not mean that I just remain the same and I am who I am, you can accept it or not. That's not self-love.
You embrace yourself and
You
grow.
embrace yourself and you realize where you do need to grow, and when you do decide to grow, do it for you.
Right. Not for
Do
anyone
it for
else.
you, and it'll be a benefit for someone else if you have somebody.
Right.
But whatever you're doing, when you are grounded within yourself, there's a difference.
Right.
Definitely. And
He taking. Sorry, Kevin.
Kevin?
Not Kevin. You can't be putting your height on stuff and then talking about you taking.
hey,
5'8" of greatness. Great. Can you sit your down somewhere?
hey, his old lady is obviously not watching,
Right. I ain't seen not one amen, Kevin.
right? Adrian says, sex is its own thing. It can be intertwined into many things, be it mental, emotional, and religious, but at the end of the day, it's an act that provides a feeling. I agree with that to an extent. What I will say, though, is I think that in today's society, I'm going to blame the millennials, because I ain't got nobody else to blame, but I think sex is so much of a focus, like people forget the true basis of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can, like, obviously I want to be attracted to the person I'm with, but I don't need a Beyonce or a Lupita.
Apparently, Jay-Z didn't need Beyonce either.
Y'all, I'm gonna say this in the best way possible.
Hell.
Yes, I am. If you believe that sex is just the act that provides a feeling, and I'm gonna say Google because I said Google it earlier. I'm gonna leave that there.
No, we want to know.
It's more than just a feeling.
Right. It's a
You can
connection
feel
type
yourself having an out of body experience, and if you have not experienced that, then you're just looking for him to be on that one little thing until you do what you got to do, and y'all are boring. It's other things that can be done. It's just so much more. It can take you to a different place. It was designed for a thing, and if you don't do it within that parameter, you're not gonna know.
Right.
Oh.
No, you good. Mitch makes a good point, though. Mitch says that sometimes you have to switch up your environment. Like in terms of sparking, the relationship or making sex better. I mean, most times people in relationship, they do it in the bedroom. Like, switch it up. Go to, I ain't saying go have sex outside or nothing, but go out of town.
Pick a place.
Yeah, pick a place. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it didn't have to be
Inside, outside, whatever works for you.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, on the balcony at the hotel.
Driving down 95.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people, for whatever reason, they're afraid to even. I think a lot of women are more comfortable, bringing that up, saying, "Hey, let's try something different." But guys, they don't want to put a woman off, saying, "Hey, let's try."
I think
having
that might
sex
be
outside.
50-50 though.
You think women are kind of hesitant to?
Well, not hesitant, but it's just I think she's waiting for that right time, or he would be the same way. It's both of you are not wanting to offend the other. At least that's what I think. I mean, because
I don't see getting offended if the person said, baby the car, or baby the backyard. I don't see
The trampoline.
I don't see
that
being
sounds fun.
offended by that. If you're not open-minded enough to try, and I guess everybody has their levels, and I have to be respectful of that. Everybody has their levels that they're willing to go to. However, if we are in this type of relationship that we're talking about, because we're asking, can the relationship last? We're talking about sustaining a thing. So if we're both thinking of sustaining this thing, then why not go to the backyard? Why not open your mind?
True.
It's not disrespectful or anything of that nature, in my opinion. Why not do those things?
Well, see, that's just it. You're more open. Some people aren't. Some people will take offense. Some men will take offense. Some girls will take offense.
So if you asked him,
I ain't saying I would take
in a
offense.
long-term relationship, I don't know if I would say offense. I could see him maybe like someone not being open to it, like I don't know about the backyard. The neighbors might see us. And then
no, because some guys will be like, "Why the backyard? Why we gotta go to the backyard? What's changed? Guys will go there.
oh, when something is
Now
new
this guy.
and a person questions a thing,
Right? They don't. It's like they don't.
Then what you
understand
do is you answer. Ain't nothing wrong.
Look, then that's when you start getting to, bro. We need to go ahead. We need to do something else.
Provide an answer. Yeah, you got a question? Answer it.
There you go. Since you didn't want to just take this advice, take this suggestion and roll with it, you have a question.
Twan says it really boils down to both people wanting honesty to please the other person.
Yes.
Changing locations, role playing, honest convo, whatever.
Whatever.
But if we're a team, then we got to figure out what the win is. So I agree with that. And Twan, I think Twan said a mouthful, man. And thank you for the comment, Twan.
Yes.
Like when you're in a relationship, you are a team, and you have to come up with a game plan. Like, and to use a sports analogy, they don't go out there and just play.
Period.
They have a game plan. They know what team they playing. They know what the team's
you know who got
strong
the ball.
points are, weak points are, and you develop a game plan to go out there and win. Same thing if you're talking about sustainability and you want that relationship to last.
Every area.
Exactly. You have to map out. Okay, you know what? This night, every Tuesday, we're gonna have sex somewhere different. You know, like just mapping out a game plan. And if that game plan doesn't work, all right, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's go try something else. But I think that can be fun in and of itself.
Right.
Just having a session to talk about where we're gonna go at.
What do you call those things? What's the board? What do you call it?
What, the blackboard?
No. It's a vision board.
Yeah.
Get you a vision board. If you're to cork that thing in your bedroom, just start putting places you want to do it.
And do that. Because
Come back with an idea.
It's the same way when you come into a relationship. For a guy, whatever he needs when he comes into this relationship, he's gonna be looking for it.
Absolutely.
Whatever that woman needs when she comes into the relationship, she's gonna be looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
But what's crazy is when you can take that mental and try and figure out what that other person needs without thinking about yourself. Now you still gotta get what you need. Mm-hmm. But if both are intentional about having that conversation, that's when it goes into like love language and stuff like that. Y'all read that. But my thing is that same energy that you put into what we talking about, that room for sex,
right.
You got to put that into all your ideas, all your plans, your jobs, everything. What works for one couple is not going to work for a couple. Somebody might work all day or whatever the case may be. You got to figure out when it's going to work for you.
Adrian says fun and good are two different things. I think the fun would turn into good, and again, that's just me. Like,
or the good can turn into fun.
The good can turn into fun.
But if it's fun, then fun is good, though, right?
Fun is good to me, but I guess
I agree with Marlon. Marlon says that's why foreplay is so important. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, it is.
I agree with that.
You can't just run into something and think
you gotta put lighter fluid on there. And,
unless you plan to meet on the lunch break and you know she got 30 minutes. That's different.
30-minute lunches.
30 minutes.
Y'all
I have an hour.
Didn't y'all say Tuesday? Didn't you say put it on your board?
No,
Vision board, yes.
So you know you got Tuesday.
But again, it can be fun because it take me 10 minutes to get there.
That mentality of how we gonna make this work.
Right.
And she get back to work and she text you.
It'll take me 30 minutes. I'm already looking at stuff with swing.
Rel says I don't have a lot of downtime, so if I make time for you, I don't want to be disappointed. Well.
Oh, okay. I got you. I feel you.
Well, Real, I have a question for you. Are you in a relationship or looking to be in a relationship, or does that determine whether or not you will be in a relationship?
He said he don't have a lot of downtime.
No,
Y'all
she
sisters got to
ain't
get
gonna respond
together.
back. You don't have to wait for. I'm messing with you.
You're so stupid.
I'm messing with you. All right, so we got a little bit of time left, guys. So I want to freelancer. So what are your takeaways from today? What do you want to what message do you want to leave for the people? Nikkei?
I'm still thinking.
First,
go ahead. Fire
I know.
But you just being
Are
funny.
you still thinking? We've been talking for an hour now.
I ain't got time for you.
Well, I'll say, do what works for you, period. If you believe that somebody is the person, if y'all are at that place where you believe that, then I think that those two people should be open enough to communicate about what works and what does not work. And that's in every area. You determine that and you keep that in your house, keep your business to yourself, keep your friend girls and your friend boys out of that, and make it work. Don't compare yourself to anybody. Don't compare your relationship to anybody's relationship. Don't think that others are doing this, so you're not enough or you're more than enough, because it depends on your person, period.
Absolutely.
If sex is the issue, sex is not the issue.
I need that on a t-shirt, man. I ain't gonna even lie. Nikkei?
What she said.
What you want to say to people?
My thing is, first off, just communicate. You actually shave a lot of time off of just sitting there, and every day goes by, whenever moment you have, and you don't say anything. communicate. Just let them know what's lacking. Not to say that they're lacking because they're doing their best, but it's like their best is still not getting you where you need to be. So just talk to them. If your relationship is worth it, then you will actually do the work to
capitalize,
keep it.
Underline,
You will get that vision board.
Absolutely.
You will you will make sure that you're so deep into his mental that he's like, damn, I need to figure out what the hell I need to do, or her. Figure out exactly what it is that she wants.
Because I'm not losing them.
Right, because if you don't want to lose that person, you're going to do exactly what it is that needs to be done in order to keep that relationship.
Period.
In order to keep your sex, to bring new life to that sex game that you got. And, if you thought it was golden and she was like, okay, you just bronze medal. But, you come in and you do exactly what it is, and that's the work. You want something from it, you got to put in the work. That's just like you can't go to your job and sit there all day long and say, "Oh, time to go."
Right.
You got to actually work. You have to work to get the paycheck.
Period.
So you're gonna have to work to get this good orgasm or the satisfaction that you want in the bedroom.
Yeah. Anything worth having is worth working
for. Right.
For.
Worth working for it.
So Tawana says I'm 5'10" and a half. I'm taken, but since Kevin posting his heights,
Tawana, don't you get in the doghouse, Tawana.
And Real responded, she's not in a relationship. So thank you, Real. Tawana says Kamisha trademarked that slogan. I agree. That slogan don't hit the real world, cause you can love it. You can love, be in love, respect, trust, honor, surrender, and still have bad sex. So
and Adrian, it's each of our own real world. Everybody think that a real world is just one thing. I don't agree. We have different perspectives, feelings, and things that make us move. But I do understand where you're coming from.
Definitely. And Latasha says it's the first time joining. Thank you. I really appreciate it. We try to give people what they want. But before we close out, guys, it seems like the common theme here is communication.
Communication.
You got to talk about what you want, what your desires are, and you have to be open to that feedback as well. It's constructive criticism. It's not meant to demean you or beat your ego. It's simply meant to make things better. And if you truly love that person, then you'll take the time to really listen to them, take heed to what they're saying, and just give it a try. You never know.
Kimberly.
But we don't want to work for no good deed.
Hey, if it's good, you probably won't do any work. Just be like, yes.
You just joined. What were you 50 minutes ago? I love you, Kimber. All right, so again, guys, this was great. I really appreciate the dialogue. I want to thank my guests again, my panel, for joining. You guys were awesome. I have a lot of takeaways. I hope that the audience does as well. Make sure you continue sharing. Make sure if you missed it or if some of your friends missed it, they can visit my YouTube page, Hook Williams, or they can search Get Hooked on all podcast platforms. So again, I thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you again next week.
Oh, that's why I didn't see that.